Hi, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Ask Elly, Intuitive Insights and Your Questions Answered. My name is Elly Molina, and I am your hostess and a psychic, author, mentor, and teacher. And today we're going to talk about the questions that you have asked and sent in. And we're going to also talk a little bit about, we're going to talk a lot about psychotronics, what it is, and how you can use this in your life. So, welcome to today's podcast. It is October 20th and 2020, and top of the morning to all of you. So let's get started with today's questions. And the first question that was submitted comes out of Washington State. And it's, "Hi, Elly. Thanks for providing the opportunity to ask questions on this platform. I have been unemployed since March 2020, and I'm getting very depressed. I'm in the hospitality industry, and I do not see many places opening soon or hiring. I'm at a loss for what to do and what I can do next. Do you see anything that might help me? JM, Washington." Okay, good morning, and thank you, JM, for submitting your question. A couple of things around this one, JM. First of all, let's take a really good psychic look. One of the things that I'm seeing is that these last few months have been very important for you. So I don't know much about I'm not getting any information around exactly what it is that you've been doing during this time. So the energy that I have been getting around you, excuse me, is that you've been influenced by the people around you who you've been hanging out with during this time. And I just want to shed a little bit of light. This is kind of a tangent going off a little bit. I understand that you've been unemployed. I understand that we've been in a very bizarre and unusual situation. However, remember one thing, JM, we are all energy beings. And therefore, because we are made up of energy, we have to be very careful and very protective as to what energy we surround ourselves with, because the thought currents of other people affect our energy. And one of the things that I'm seeing around you over here, JM, it feels as if your energy has been pulled around by other people. And even though you may feel that you're an independent and that you think for yourself, I'm seeing over here people have been pulling at your energy, meaning they've been directing where you're going and what it is that you want to be doing and how you're feeling and some of the choices that you're making. So I'd like you just to take a look at your environment right now. See who you're hanging around with. You know, there's an old saying in business, show me who you walk with and I'll tell you who you are. And then the other saying is to reflect that. Show me the 5 people that you surround yourself with, and let's take a look at their income and divide that by 5, and you'll have your annual income. And there happens to be a lot of truth to that. Now, I understand that you're unemployed. So you've probably been hanging around with a lot of other unemployed people during this time. And that will then cause and create those thought currents to start affecting you. If this is not the case and you have been hanging around with employed people, then please let me know, because I'm not getting that. I'm getting that most of the people that you've been hanging around with are also unemployed, and that it creates an energy, as we said before, thoughts affect us, thought currents affect us, and it creates an energy of depression, lethargy, and not knowing. And so conversations are not inspired conversations as to what you can be doing, what businesses you may be opening, what other opportunities you may be seeking. So that is seems to be lacking in that area. Now, there's some good news on here, JM, that just showed up, which is I'm seeing that you're going to be moving, and I get you moving away from your situation. So I'm not clear if you're moving away from the industry or if you're actually doing a physical move, or you may be doing both. Because the energy right here is moving away. So I'm seeing you setting sail, I'm seeing you moving. So this looks like a very wonderful opportunity for you now to step into creating a life by design. And that would mean surround yourself with people who have what you want and get into that thought current that is so necessary for you so that you can continue to feel better about yourself and start generating an income, because there are many opportunities around us right now, even with our current political and health situation going on. There are ample opportunities for you to step in and to create something for yourself. It just needs you just need to be around those people who are also generating and creating. Okay, I intend that that answered your question, JM. And if not, again, anybody listening to the podcast, if you would like a private session, please just drop me an email at elly@ellymolina.com and let me know that you heard me on the podcast, and I will give you a discounted rate for the reading. You'll receive 20% off the reading. And so, JM, if this did not answer your question and you still want some more information, then let's have a conversation and see what can be done and where you can go and what I'm seeing, who you're hanging with, etc. Because you do have, I'm going to say, you do have adventure on the horizon, and so that would be interesting for a conversation. I'd love to hear what you're up to. So just email me if that's the case, and let's continue our conversation. All right. Thanks so much for sending in your question today. All right. Moving on today to our topic of psychotronics. So psychotronics is the ability to move energy from a distance. It is telepathic energy, it is psychokinetic energy, it is telekinesis. It's everything all together in one beautiful package. It's moving energy. Now, Einstein referred to quantum entanglement as spooky energy at a distance. This is the phenomena where one particle can effectively know something about another particle instantaneously, and even if these two particles are separated at a distance. And with psychotronic power, we are able to influence objects at a distance, people at a distance, because we and everyone else around us are energy. So now let's take a step back and look at how this can be used for ourselves and our life. So if, for example, you wanted to start, let's go back even further. We're always using psychotronic energy. Most of us are not using it consciously. And so when we're not using it consciously, we refer to things as, oh, I'm so lucky. This is what happened. That's using your psychotronic energy at a very, very low voltage. And you're going to get occasional results. And then we call it luck. And then we have to start to pay attention to that, because as we pay attention to the amount of time that we have luck using our psychotronic energy, we can begin to build the habit or the neural net of understanding that this is something that is real, that we have power and control over, and that we're going to use this. So on last week's podcast, I spoke about electricity. So electricity existed and exists whether we know how to conduct it or not. It is there. So if you were to take someone from a very, very rural country who had never seen an electric light switch, they wouldn't know to turn it on. So the electricity would be there, but it wouldn't be available for them to use because they didn't know that it was there. And that is the same way as we have this power. But if we do not know how to be using this power then it's just there like electricity. Now, psychotronic power can be used for good, just as electricity can be used to light up a house, or it can be used for evil and for bad. And that is with everything. Water can be used to quench our thirsts, and at the same time, water can drown us. So we always have to look at what we're doing with this particular energy and how we are going to be using it. So with psychotronic power, we can influence events, we can influence the weather, we can see further, we can influence our health, we can influence the health of other people. We can, like I'm going to say, we can really make magic. So right now, one of the things that I've been working on in my personal life is turning off a water fountain that is in the property where I live. It's a decorative water fountain and it runs 24/7. It's quite attractive and it's also quite annoying because it's constantly running. You can constantly hear the sound of the water. And to me, it sounds more like a shower than a therapeutic sprinkling of Zen water running. And so over the summer, I practiced shutting it on and off. And the first time that I went to shut it off, I actually asked a friend of mine who lives in Italy to help me remote view this and shut this off psychically. And it was a lucid dream that I had. And in the dream, she came into the room and looked at the fountain, pointed at the fountain with her fingers and said, off, off, off. And I mimicked her in the dream. It was, as I said, it was a very lucid dream. It really felt as if she were in the room with me. And we were pointing at the fountain and we're going off, off, off. And then I said to myself in the dream, well, thank you very much for helping me. I think that I got this and I can do this now. So I fell asleep again. And the next morning, the fountain was still on. But then at 2 p.m. that afternoon, the fountain inexplicably shut off. It just stopped. And whatever happened to cause that, whether it was our psychic powers, you want to call it coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence at this. I believe this was really, truly our psychotronic power, our psychokinetic powers influencing and shutting off the fountain. So later on that day, I sent my friend a text message in Italy and I asked, hey, did you have any dreams about me? And then she said, well, I didn't dream about you, but I dreamt that somebody came and asked me to help them with the water in their building. So I went and helped them turn off the water in their building. So this is just an example of how psychotronic energy and power works in our lives. And of course, if you're a skeptic, you'll say, oh yeah, well, that's not true. That's unbelievable stuff. That's just a bunch of coincidences. But for those of us who work in the energy realm, we know that there's much more to this than just coincidence. And so let's take this a step further right now and go to your own personal life. Would you like to have an experience these next 2 days with using your own psychotronic power? If yes, so I'm going to guide you through an energy exercise right now on the call. And then let's take a look and see what happens. So please find yourself for those of you who are interested in doing this exercise, stay with me. It will take about 5 minutes. And if you're not interested, you can either fast forward the podcast or do what you like. However, if you're interested in doing this exercise, I'd like you to find a comfortable position and get quiet and seated. And then find a nice space where you can just relax very slowly, close your eyes, and take a nice deep breath. Okay, and release your breath right now. And take another deep breath and just release. And one more deep breath and release. And I'd like you to relax the muscles in your face and just let your jaw drop. And sit quietly and just relax, relax, relax. All the outside noises will be unaffecting you right now, including any background noises that you hear on my end. And I'd just like you to relax your shoulders right now, and relax your chest, front of your chest and the back of your chest, and relax your waist and your hips, and relax your legs, your calves and your feet. Just relax. Now I'd like you to take your hands while you're in this relaxed space and start to rub them together. Just gently rub them together. Feel the energy. Rub them together. Keep your eyes closed if you'd like right now, just so that you can feel the energy. And then I'd like you to rub a little bit more. Just get some friction going over here. All right. And now I'd like you to take your hands and just pull them apart a little bit, just a little bit, so that you can feel the energy between the palms of your hands. Feel that energy? Focus on the energy. If you're not feeling it, rub your hands a little bit again. Just keep rubbing for a little bit. Get some heat coming. Get some heat. And pull your hands apart like that. You feel that energy right now? Could be getting nice and warm, as a matter of fact. Could really feel some heat between your palms. That is the beginning of your psychotronic energy. Take that energy and transport it to the tips of your fingers. And keep your eyes closed. Feel the warmth in the tips of your fingers. Today, you're going to use your psychotronic energy to pull in something very special for you. Within the next 24 to 48 hours, you will pull in good news. Something unexpected will happen for you. I want you to take your fingers right now in your hands, put them out in front of your body, and I want you to point out to the universe in front of you. Point out and move your fingers and command the universe with your hand and your fingers right now. Point and use your palms. So kind of like pointing motion and a stop motion. Point and palm. And I want you to point out to the universe with one hand, either your left or your right. And I want you to command the universe that today something amazing will come to your life. You will hear news of something amazing happening for you. This could be great news about something. This could be news about a job, income, something that you really wanted to have, a lawsuit that you wanted settled. And I want you to put your hand out and I want you to command the universe. Now use your palm and your forefinger, rotate it. It's like palm and finger. I command the universe to bring me good news today. I command the universe to bring me good news today. Now you can relax your hand and you can open your eyes, and you're going to know with the 100% certainty that within the next 24 to 48 hours, good news, unexpected opportunity is going to come your way. And with that being said, you will have had your experience of psychotronic power in your hand, in your own experience right now. And you'll see how this energy will be able to be used for creating things, for attracting people to come to you, for attracting situations, for repelling situations. It is a personal power that is going to electrify your life. You just need to flip the switch so that you can use it. Because when it's on, it's powerful. So now, the second part of this is being mindful and present that you have commanded the universe to send you some good information or happy news or something that is really exciting to come into your life. Again, you want to be conscious that you put that energy out there, because what happens is so many times people will then forget that they actually commanded the universe to bring them this thing, and then they forget that, oh gee, I asked for that, and they just think it's all random and coincidental. However, it's not. It's just not random and coincidental. It is your thoughts and it is your energy that is doing this. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about this before I proceed to the next part of this call and to show you how this can be used in terms of attracting people and places and things into your life? All right. Okay. No questions, no callers, nobody. I see a few people on the line, only I'm not seeing anyone. Anyone wants to make a comment or a question? Okay, that's fine. I would like to just share with you at this moment that on October 27th of this year, 2020, I am going to be hosting a 90-minute psychotronic workshop. And we're going to be discussing all kinds of modalities of using psychotronics. And this, you can sign up and register for the workshop on my website, which is ellymolina.com. And I'm just going to put that into the chat over here. So it's ellymolina.com. And you can see that for those of you who are interested in participating in this workshop. So, okay, let's move on forward if anyone has any questions for today. All right, not getting any questions? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about other uses for psychotronic power. So what about breaking up the weather? For those of you who've seen Men Who Stare at Goats, I think there's a scene in there where they go do some cloud bursting and they change up the weather. And a very fun phenomena is to do cloud bursting. And first of all, one of the things that you really will need to have is a belief that you do have the power to do this. So and of course that your results are not necessarily going to be instantaneously, especially if there's a huge thick fog in front of you or on top of you. You're not going to have an instantaneous result. Again, it is possible though. So now let's take a look at a look at clouds or something, and you want them to burst. You want the weather to stop. How that would happen would be to do it exactly as we have just done in the exercise before, where you close your eyes and you visualize first that the clouds are parting, the clouds are moving away, that you see the sun shining, and you take a few moments to get into a nice deep alpha state so that you can see the clouds bursting and moving aside. And then you rub your hands together in the method that I showed you to get that energy moving. And then you take your fingers and your hand and you burst the clouds. You separate them. You use your hands to separate them. And it is just unbelievable how this can happen. Now, I've done this many times when I was driving through terrible snow with a friend of mine. We had a few occasions where we drove through the snow. It was really frightening. And she was driving and I was cloud bursting to stop the snow. And after, we were both doing it mentally, but I was doing the psychic work on it and moving my hands to stop the snow. And as you can imagine, what happened is the snow stopped long enough for us to pass through parts of the driving that were the terrain that were so difficult. I was so grateful. And, it was just, yes, thank you, universe. Thank you for protecting us and getting us through this terrible snowstorm that we probably needed not to have been driving through, but we were driving through it. So that's just another example of using our psychotronic powers when we have weather conditions around us. If things are very, very scary and slippery, people often revert to prayer. And prayer works the same way as psychotronic energy does. But prayer, we believe that it is just coming from an outside force, and it is really a co-creation of us and the universe together that is providing these amazing experiences. So, anybody have any questions right now about this as I continue? No? Yes? All right. So let's talk about using psychotronic power for healing for a little bit. So this gets into a belief. All right. So first of all, we're really using our electronic psychotronic powers, our powers of mind for this. And if you wanted to change the way that you physically look, this is possible. However, it will take some time because we're dealing with cells and restructuring, and it's going to take belief and practice. It's going to take belief, and it's going to take consistency. So where this starts now would be, first of all, to have a really clear vision of what it is that you want to look like. So, if you're going to say, well, I want to have brown hair, okay, there have to be things at this moment in time that are believable. So if you're a blonde and you want to go to have brown hair and you want this to be natural, if it is right now without the realm of being possible in your belief system, it's not going to work. Whatever it is that you are looking to work at with psychotronically, it has to be in the realm of your own belief system to begin with. Later on, you can expand that to include areas that you don't believe it's possible. But for the beginning, you really do need to believe it's possible. So let's start with removing lines on your face. This is probably an easy way to begin. And what that would entail is a few times during the day, you'd want to find a quiet place, close your eyes, go into the alpha state, just as I had done earlier on this on our show today, where you relax and you get yourself into a deep alpha state, and then visualize your face without any of the stress lines on there. See it there on your face, and then move that to the side. You want to move that out to your right side, to your past, and then moving in from the left side, you want to move in your future face, and your future face would be one without the lines and the wrinkles, if you have wrinkles, if you're old enough to have wrinkles, or even to have a healthier glow to your face. So these are things that you can start to change immediately. Now you can also do this regularly a few times a day. You want to keep this up for some time so that people will then be able, you'll see it, and then people will respond to you and say, wow, what happened to you? You look so youthful. You look so young. You're glowing. So this is one way of using our psychotronic power on an outside physical level to make changes. Of course, we can take the same power and use it on an internal level to work with our health and wellness. So, does anybody have any questions about this today? Okay, all right. It's been a very quiet audience this morning, and there's a lot going on in the universe right now. And so this would be an opportune time to practice using your psychotronic powers to influence remotely what it is that you would like to have happen in the next 2 weeks in terms of, if you're living in the United States, you may want to take some of your attention and focus it on the elections and to see, well, hey, you know what? I would like my world to look like this. And then you'll take that vision that you have of the way that you want your world to look after the elections, and you put that in there and you spend some time focusing on that. You spend some time giving it the psychotronic energy that we were talking about. You spend some time doing it that way. And then if you believe in it powerfully enough, your energy will have an effect on the outcome of things, because we are all collectively connected. We're all connected to a large consciousness. We are all thought currents affecting each other. So we want to be really, really mindful of this and where we're putting our thoughts and where we're putting our energy. And so with that, we are at the end of today's podcast, and I'm going to thank all of you who were here today and for joining me. And again, if you're interested in a session, a personal session with me, go to ellymolina.com and just email that you were on the podcast. And also, if you're interested in participating in the Psychotronics workshop that's coming up on October 27th, please register on my website. It is right there also. It's ellymolina.com. Okay, email me back. Let me know how this worked for you and with your psychotronic powers this last week, and that you received some wonderful, great information. And I look forward to hearing from you next week on our live podcast or before. All right, thanks everybody. Have a wonderfully blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.